It's Thursday, July 9. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. Jamaicans are being warned to brace for severe drought conditions. Head of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, Evan Thompson, says the entire island is seeing reduced rainfall and the situation is not projected to improve over the next 3 months.
So we watch conditions for 2 months before we determine whether there is a drought condition. And this map shows that except for the extreme west end of the country, the prevalence of drought increases over northeastern and southeastern and south central parishes. Moving to our forecast, because we can't dwell on the past, we have to see what is coming up in our future. That same standardized precipitation index also projects that severe drying will continue over northeastern parishes, including Portland and St. Mary, through to August.
On Wednesday, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation outlined water initiatives being instituted and drought management responses being undertaken.
The Rural Water Supply Limited, for the past financial year, had its project budget increased to $795 million, an 8-fold increase in an effort to address the drought and chronic water shortage situation in the rural, non-utility services of Jamaica. The RWSA has approached the water challenges on 3 fronts, namely rural water upgrading program, including minor water supplies and wayside tanks, catchment tank rehabilitation, and rainwater harvesting, particularly in schools. These projects utilize, where appropriate, solar renewable energy and, in cases of school, water-saving equipment. Some 63,000 residents are expected to benefit from these projects. The program continues this financial year with an additional $528 million being spent on projects to benefit an additional population in excess of 45,000. A major wayside black tank program to immediately address drought-stricken communities is also underway, while the program in schools and catchment tank rehabilitation also continues while addressing both the drought and COVID-19 challenges. Last but not least, the National Water Commission. The National Water Commission's commitment to the vision of the national water sector policy is evidenced by the replaced ferry 600 millimeter diameter pipeline, which is now in operation. The pipeline will serve communities along Washington Boulevard up to Dunrobin Avenue, which it interconnects with the recently commissioned 700 millimeter diameter transmission main that was laid along the Constant Spring Road. Some of the communities that will benefit from this major infrastructure include areas along Malines Road, Washington Boulevard, Seaward Drive, among others. The new pipeline is not only important to the NWC's comprehensive plans for efficient distribution of the commodity, but also part of broader efforts to build resilience and reliability within the network.
The National Water Commission, NWC's Prohibition order to prevent the wastage of potable water takes effect today, Thursday, July 9. It's now a prosecutable offense to either waste water or to use excessive amounts of the commodity for non-essential purposes. The NWC says this has become necessary as the levels at both dams are critically low due to the prolonged dry spell affecting the island. According to the NWC, the Mona Reservoir is at 50.8% of its capacity, or 411.2 million gallons. The Hermitage Dam is at 33.95% of its capacity, or 133.6 million gallons. Under the order, persons must refrain from watering of gardens, lawns, grounds, and farms, refilling of tanks, ponds, or swimming pools, and or for the use than other normal domestic services, washing of vehicles by the use of a hose, watering or washing roadways, pavements, paths, and garages, any purpose which may require the use of a considerable or excessive quantity of water. Under the order, offences are punishable by a fine or imprisonment for up to 30 days. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused an upheaval in social and economic life across Jamaica and the Caribbean. Many businesses closed, while others are struggling to maintain operations due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Helping small and medium businesses withstand the impact of COVID-19 and recover from the crisis is critical to maintaining social well-being and guarding against a slide towards poverty. That's what Jamaica's Ministry of Tourism is doing. More from Gabriel Thompson.
Tourism generates foreign exchange, drives development, directly supports numerous types of jobs and businesses, and underpins many local communities. Jamaica's tourism economy has been heavily hit by the coronavirus pandemic.
Our booming tourism industry, Mr. Speaker, went from thousands of arrivals per day to zero, leading to the closure of hotels, villas, attractions, widespread job losses, and a massive reduction in income for tourism, agriculture, manufacturing, craft, ground transportation providers, and a myriad of other sectors. The estimated loss of direct tourism revenue to the government due to COVID-19 from April 2020 to March 2021 is expected to be 38.4 billion Jamaican dollars. The estimated overall loss to the economy from visitor expenditure from stopover arrivals is at 107.6 billion. In short, Mr. Speaker, the nation is losing roughly $400 million per day as a result of COVID-19 and the shutdown of the tourism industry. Mr. Speaker, you can see, therefore, that the phased reopening of our borders to international travelers on June 15 is not just about tourism, but it's a matter of life and death. We need to get the over 350,000 pandemic displaced workers back to work. We need to provide some salvation to the many businesses and workers that right now are facing rough times. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure you that the reopening is being carried out safely and in a way that protects our frontline tourism workers, Jamaican citizens, and our visitors.
In the short term, domestic tourism offers the main chance for driving recovery and supporting the tourism sector. As part of the Ministry of Tourism's recovery efforts, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, has developed several initiatives geared specifically towards assisting small and medium tourism enterprises. The TEF has already put $1 billion with the Exim Bank for the purpose of supporting and enabling these enterprises to get affordable credit. In his contribution to the 2020-2021 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives, Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett noted other measures being taken to assist tourism workers and businesses mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, including grants through the COVID-19 Allocation of Resources for Employees Care Program.
The care program had 4 elements: the business employee support and transfer cash, which provided temporary cash transfers to businesses in targeted sectors based on the number of workers they kept employed. The second is supporting employees with transfer of cash, the set cash, which provided temporary cash transfer to individuals where it can be verified that they lost their employment since March 10, the date, of course, when COVID-19 cases were first declared and established here due to the pandemic. Soft loans are also, soft loan fund, Mr. Speaker, is established to assist individuals and businesses that have been hit hard. And then, of course, there's the supporting the poor and vulnerable with the special Tourism 19 grants, which have gone down and have been so helpful to so many thousands of Jamaicans already. Mr. Speaker, we are in discussion with the Jamaica National Group Limited and the National Import-Export Bank, which have over $500 million. If you recall, Mr. Speaker, that the TF had put $1 billion Jamaican dollars with the Exim Bank for the purpose of supporting and enabling small and medium tourism enterprise to get affordable credit. The remnants of that, Mr. Speaker, is about $389 million that's there now, along with $200 million that we have at Jamaica National. We're putting them together, along with a program that the Minister of Finance has developed for the 1.2 billion support for small properties, small hotels, and to create a fund thereby that can allow for our small and medium tourism enterprises to have an opportunity to be able to access and to purchase and to acquire COVID security equipment and assist them in reopening during the period that we have just established for reopening.
Mr. Bartlett will provide an update on additional recovery efforts for small and medium tourism enterprises being undertaken by the Tourism Enhancement Fund tomorrow, Friday, July 10. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
Jamaica has in the last 24 hours recorded 6 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total number of confirmed positives for the island to 751. The new cases consist of 2 males and 4 females. 5 arrived on flights from the United States and 1 from Canada. These cases have addresses in St. Catherine, St. Anne, St. James, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth. There are now 233 imported cases. 236 cases are contacts of confirmed cases. 39 are local transmission cases not epidemiologically linked. 236 are related to the workplace cluster in St. Catherine, and 7 are under investigation. Of the 751 cases confirmed with COVID-19 to date, 600 have recovered, 17 have repatriated, 10 persons have died. There are 124 active cases currently under observation. The island's testing numbers now stand at 27,357. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is working to improve the nation's health system. The development plans are being fast-tracked to better manage the COVID-19 pandemic while maintaining regular services. During his contribution to the sectoral debate, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton noted that the focus is on training, equipment, and infrastructure. We have more in this report.
The health minister says the ministry has now completed the construction of 4 high-dependency units, HDUs, under the Program for the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mortality, PROMAC, at a cost of some $1.5 billion.
With these high-dependency units, PROMAC has provided Jamaica with 48 high-dependency spaces, some 38 new high-dependency beds, and 10 new isolation suites, specifically for pregnant women and their newborns. These are in addition to the procurement of 6 ambulances and the purchase of radiographic ultrasound equipment and some 150 midwifery bags to enhance the quality of primary care and to improve the referral system to the tune of some $187.6 million.
Dr. Tufton says these are in addition to the procurement of 6 ambulances and the purchase of radiographic ultrasound equipment.
We have also trained, Mr. Speaker, some 230 doctors and nurses in specialized programs, including pediatric medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, as well as intensive care, Mr. Speaker.
Financed through the grant funding from the European Union, PROMAC has not only enabled the government to improve facilities for maternal and child health across the island, but has also been instrumental in the ongoing novel coronavirus fight with the provision of critical equipment, including ventilators.
These ventilators and other equipment valued at some $622 million has been deployed to our hospitals to increase the number of high dependency units and ICU space. These facilities, Mr. Speaker, are in preparation for the reality that we are not yet out of the woods, Mr. Speaker. COVID is still a threat, but we are putting the infrastructure in place to confront and to minimize that threat with the support of the Jamaican people.
Meanwhile, the health minister says about 3,000 health workers have been trained under the Compassionate Care Program to date. These include clinical, technical, administrative, skilled, and non-skilled staff.
That a big part of the therapy that Jamaicans seek when they go to a health center or a hospital is just the comfort of someone speaking to them, helping them to overcome their issues, not just through clinical services, but just giving advice and showing empathy.
The Compassionate Care Program has been launched at the Victoria Jubilee, Cornwall Regional, St. Anne's Bay, Falmouth, Black River and Noel Holmes hospitals. It focuses on customer service and empathy in healthcare delivery, as well as facilities infrastructural improvement and volunteerism to enhance the overall experience for both patient and healthcare staff. Simone Absalom reporting for the news on PBCJ.
Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, Paula Llewellyn, has been given a 3-year extension of her tenure. Ms. Llewellyn has served as DPP for the last 12 years and will be at the age of retirement in September. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement during a virtual press briefing on Wednesday.
I have made a recommendation to His Excellency the Governor General for the extension of the service of the DPP for 3 years. I won't go any further into those discussions except to say that it was important to ensure that the office had enough time to prepare for transition and management, and I believe that the present DPP has done excellent work.
Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Favour Williams says 65,000 tablet computers will be distributed to teachers and students in this fiscal year. She made the disclosure during the official ceremony for the distribution of 32 tablet computers to educators at the Hope Valley Experimental School in Kingston.
eLearning Jamaica will complete the distribution of 25,000 tablets under the Tablets for Teachers program, as well as the 40,000 tablets under the Tablets in Infant and Primary Schools program during this financial year.
The initiative falls under the government's Tablets in School project, which aims to provide students, teachers and other stakeholders with the necessary facility to access technology.
In this digital age, all our teachers and students must be able to access lessons and material remotely so that no one is disenfranchised or left behind.
There is evidence emerging of the airborne spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19. The World Health Organization, WHO's technical lead on the COVID-19 pandemic, Maria Van Kerkhove, told a news briefing that the entity has been looking into the possibility of airborne transmission.
We have said previously we welcome the interaction from scientists all over the world from many different disciplines. Many of the signatories are engineers, which is a wonderful area of expertise, which adds to growing knowledge about the importance of ventilation, which we feel also is very important. We have been talking about the possibility of airborne transmission and aerosol transmission as one of the modes of transmission of COVID-19, as well as droplet. We've looked at fomites, we look at fecal oral, we look at mother to child, we look at animal to human, of course, as well.
Her comments were in response to questions about an open letter to the Geneva-based agency published Monday in the Clinical Infectious Diseases Journal. In that letter, 239 scientists in 32 countries outlined evidence they say shows floating virus particles can affect people who breathe them in. Because those smaller inhaled particles can linger in the air, and scientists in the group had been urging the WHO to update its guidance.
But we have spoken about the importance of all of the different potential modes of transmission. This is a respiratory pathogen, and so it is important that what we know fits into the guidance that we have, which is why a comprehensive package of interventions are required to be able to stop transmission. This includes not only physical distancing, it includes the use of masks where appropriate in certain settings, specifically where you can't do physical distancing, and especially for healthcare workers. So our focus on the use of masks, of course, is for healthcare workers, and to use airborne precautions where you have those aerosol generating procedures. But we're also looking at the possible role of airborne transmission in other settings where you have particularly closed settings where you have poor ventilation. So we will be issuing our brief in the coming days, and that will outline everything that we have in this area.
Time now for a look at the gas prices and foreign exchange trade in the Business Report with Gabrielle Thompson.
The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, says Jamaica will recover faster from COVID-19 than the 2008-2009 global recession. The institute on Wednesday made a presentation at the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. This forum is the main platform for UN member states to report on progress towards Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). The PIOJ projected economic recovery within 2 to 4 years and employment within 1 to 3 years following a global economic fallout caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. It says this projected short recovery period, compared with the global economic recession of 2008 to 2009, is due to the relative strength of the Jamaican economy and the stimulus packages that have been rolled out both locally and globally. On April 9, the government launched the COVID-19 Allocation of Resources for Employees Care Program to provide temporary cash transfers to individuals and businesses affected by the ongoing pandemic. On Tuesday, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced a 2-month extension of 2 elements of the care program. In spite of the challenges, Jamaica reaffirmed its commitment to implementing Vision 2030 Jamaica and the SDGs. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE combined index declined by 46 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 79 stocks, of which 40 advanced, 28 declined, and 11 traded firm. The junior market index advanced by 8 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for Barita Investments Limited, Blue Par Group, and Cargo Handlers Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, Access Financial Services, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company. Trading firm were 1834 Investments, Caribbean Cream Limited, and Dolphin Cove Limited. Mailpack Group Limited was the volume leader with 19.2 million units, followed by Pulse Investments Limited with just over 8 million units, and Trans Jamaican Highway Limited with 6.7 million units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Wednesday, July 8, ended trading at $142.18. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $107.81. The pound sterling traded for $179.70, and the euro ended trading at $161.51. Concerns about renewed coronavirus lockdowns in the United States outweighed signs of a recovery in U.S. gasoline demand on Thursday to keep a lid on oil prices. Brent crude futures were up 5 cents to $43.34 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures dipped 14 cents to $40.76 a barrel. And that's it for the business report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
Want lots of protein, nutrients while getting rid of food cravings and keeping you away from eating junk food? Then have a smoothie. That's what Simone had at Central Smoothie in Halfway Tree. Time now for Culinary Trails.
This week, the trail has stopped at Central Smoothies. It's in Halfway Tree inside Central Plaza, and it's on a rooftop. It's more like an oasis, and we'll be getting some cool drinks. You know, the type of drinks that will keep you cool this summer.
Welcome to Central Smoothie, and today we're going to make a tropical blend. Lime. 1, 2. You have to measure them, you know, so you know the amount where you want, you know. So you have pineapple,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
How long have you been at this location?
1 year now.
Really?
Yes.
And how has it been so far?
Great.
Really?
Yeah, man.
So give me the time. What time can we come and what time do you close?
We're open from 10 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
Do you do deliveries?
Yes, man, only in after 3.
Okay, so what number can we call to order for delivery, or do we order online?
You can call our number 4411-417. That's our contact number.
And you're on social media?
Yes, Central_Smoothies.
In regional news, the Caribbean Court of Justice threw out a controversial Guyana Court of Appeal decision that inserted the word valid into the consideration of votes for the election of a president. President of the Caribbean Court, Adrian Saunders, said in a unanimous decision that the decision of the Court of Appeal was null and void and of no effect. The court also said that the report of the Chief Election Officer, Keith Lowenfield, of June 23, cutting over 115,000 votes, is invalid and of no effect. The CCJ's ruling is seen as clearing the way for GCOM Chair Justice Claudette Singh to immediately move for the declaration of the recount result, which shows that the opposition PBPC has won the election. Minister of Works and Transport in Trinidad and Tobago, Rohan Sinanan, says the Demerit point system is a success. He hailed the success of the recently implemented system in changing people's attitudes. More in this TTT News report.
So far, you would have seen, it's amazing the amount of people who would have been breaking the law before and now are trying to get their act together. The Demerit point was a great success for us. It will take some time for everybody to understand how serious we are with the demerit points. I can tell you some drivers' licenses have already been suspended. They have, within a month, they have accumulated enough points.
In sports, netball stakeholders in Western Jamaica believe caution must be observed ahead of the proposed October start to the season. Last week, ISA announced plans to start basketball, netball, and the under-16 football competitions in early October. The Da Costa Cup and Manning Cup under-19 football competitions have a proposed October 31 start date. According to the netball coach of Anchovy High School, Sharon Woodstock, staging the ISA netball season will be challenging. Her position is supported by Tricia Robinson, president of Netball Jamaica, who reportedly says while she would love to see the competition take place, there is much to consider. And that's our package. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news and sports right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.